Oh, it's not lockdown 2. This is round 2 of the Race Space Expo series. Well, it's the X series really, but we're in Expos tonight, so we can call it Expo this evening, just for now, for this bit anyway. So, for those of you that haven't been here before, where the hell have you been? You can't have been doing anything more exciting, because there is nothing more exciting that you could possibly be doing, other than deciding to go to China, because while coronavirus is taking over the world, we've decided to head straight for it. We're not wimpy. We're going right there. We are right in the heart. We're in China. We might not be in Wuhan, but we are there. And we are proving that we are tough and we can handle it. So don't worry. This is a COVID-free zone. So we're in the wonderful Zhuhai, which is, I don't know how far from Wuhan it is, but it's far enough away. And everyone's been wearing masks and they've been socially distant. In fact, I was socially distant last week in the races because I was that far behind everybody. But hey, it's just one of them things, you know. I'm doing my bit for humanity. I'm just making everyone else look good, which is what I usually try and do. But for tonight, then, you're going to get some races. I'm not going to tell you everything that we're going to do because I don't want to spoil the fun. Plus, I can't remember. But that's another thing. Look,
how's it going?
If I can't laugh at my own jokes, who the hell is? Anyway, along with me tonight is my able sidekick, Kyle, otherwise known as K9, because he likes to go dogging. But how are you this evening?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward to the racing here tonight.
Yeah, it should be good fun, actually. To be honest,
Matsutsi's driving out of the pits there already, so he's keen.
Looking
ahead of him is
a couple of them are out, aren't they?
G32.
A couple of them are out already, trying to get. Basically, I suppose it's. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on driving these cars, but I think they're good fun. I really do think they're damn good fun. These and like the BAC monos are cars that to me are very similar. I don't know what your thought is.
Yeah, they're good fun because you can sort of throw them around. You can kind of catch drifts on some of the corners. I mean, they're built for this kind of thing. It's pretty much a track day car.
Aren't they just?
It's quite a lot of fun. It's nothing too serious that it is too hard to drive. It's just something you can jump in. It's almost like perfect for the arrive and drive style of racing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you totally on that one. They are a riot to drive. They are fun. Again, it's like anything else. If you've got a decent setup for one of these things, then that helps, and I'm sure that's what Kenny's doing at the moment. Because if he's sat in the pits, then that tells me he's probably trying to put the car together a little bit, which isn't a bad thing.
Usually, I think he did that last time.
Yeah, it's not.
Came out on the track
it makes sense. It makes sense, though, doesn't it? To be honest. If you've got a rough idea of what you want to do, I mean, I do pretty much the same thing in every car that I get in, and you may do the same, or you might just say, "Sod it, it's default." There I go.
Yeah, I do. I press ready.
To be honest, you do that, and another guy, Thanatos, who I think you know, he does exactly the same thing. He goes for basically default pretty much, and a lot of these cars are pretty good on default, if I'm honest. But anything that's a road car derivative, my sort of pointer on that, if it's a road car derivative, then do it on stable, because it'll be bloody horrible to use on loose. But if it's not, like for this, I'd probably try this on loose, because I know it's a road car specifically because it's got mirrors, so it has to be built like that to be, you could drive it on the road. But let's be honest, how many have you seen on the road? I haven't seen any, as Tony decides to chuck his back end around.
taking the rallycross route there.
Yeah. He thought he'd go for a bit of a wiggle. But they are.
But you can tell from the number plate is what gives it away as well.
Yeah, that's another one. But they've all got the same number plates, so somebody's copying it, aren't they? I think they're going to get. They're all going to get done off the DVLA, which is the motoring.
See, Kenny just ran it wide there as well.
Again, he's been sat in there for ages, so his tyres are probably frozen. Unless he's done a reset.
See who that is behind Tony. I think that must be Matsutsi, yes. Matsutsi's in that blue and red colour one.
Yeah, they've got some quite interesting. That's more like a UK livery, isn't it? It's like a British livery because it's red, white, and blue. But
Yeah,
but
British or French?
Sacre bleu. Je suis français, s'il vous plaît.
And then you got the yellow and blue there of G32.
Yeah, like
Rock
blue and
in
yellow.
his baby blue for Rock.
Yeah, powder blue. It's a lovely colour.
Ali in like pure red.
Red, black, and white. There's a flag in there somewhere. There's lots of flags in there somewhere.
And Ratek in the commentary vehicle tonight.
Yeah. Which looks like a
black
John
and
Player
gold.
special livery, isn't it?
It does. It's a very nice. I like the black and gold.
I do. They go well
of the
together.
Black and gold livery.
I do. You want to see the number of cars I've done in Assetto Corsa, which are black and gold, because it really looks very, very good.
And as we say that, up to second there for he's just been knocked to third by Ali, directly behind him there.
But not much
so
in that.
Matsutsi with the fastest time. So he's a 145. His brother is a 145. Ratek a 146. So not too much of a difference between those guys.
Tony's probably just getting used to it. This is not the easiest circuit, Zuhai. It's not one of my favourites, I'll be quite honest with you, which is why I'm really heartbroken I'm not racing here.
Let's see if we can catch somebody coming down the main straight so we can catch a full lap here.
That looked a bit like off-roading.
That is the main straight.
That is off-roading. That's cracking. Fair play. Fair play. He's practicing for the rallycross, he is, honest.
Yeah, he's got to get some more off-road under his belt. But here he comes to the first corner on the track. And this is a tricky corner, actually, because there's a bit of a bump about there.
It just throws you off.
In some of the race cars, when you go around there, and the faster ones, it'll just bump you just enough that it slides your back out sometimes, and you can end up having a big spin there. So it's a bit of a trickier corner than what it looks like.
That's a horrible corner. That's the one that he's just gone through there. It's about, what is it, turn 4 or 5? It's
almost like 90 degrees. It's quite a difficult view.
It's a kind of dog leg, isn't it?
You need to brake pretty hard going in so that you can carry more speed going out, I think.
And I tend to brake hard going in and carry no speed whatsoever through it because I get it wrong.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You got to really almost like use the limits of the track on that corner. You want to hug as tight as you can on the inside and then like run it wide almost onto that off ramp on the outside.
I just tend to get it's like I get the entry right. I get the feel that the entry's right, but I'm just not carrying speed through it. I'm either too fast and I go into the gravel.
This is probably one of my favorite overtaking corners. Is that
what the
that's
double?
The hairpin, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like you've got two like that, haven't you? You've got like
I'm just trying to figure out where we are on the track.
He was doing that was his. Wasn't that the first two corners? Have you got? You should be able to put up the track map.
Let me see if I can find somebody else here. Hold on.
There should be a track map there.
Okay.
To sneak up on there.
Look.
That's
there
him.
We go.
That's him. Little devil.
So, by the way, Ratek into first there. He's just
snuck that one in, didn't he?
Brothers.
56 thousandths of a second, which in size, it's probably very, very small.
Okay, so let's watch Kenny, because he's bound to put in a good lap. So
you would have thought
let's
so.
see what he does. He's coming around. This is the first turn of the track, as we said earlier. It's got that little bump.
New fastest lap.
He just set the new fastest lap.
That's quite a lot faster. That's 43.1.
Wow. So they're putting them in now.
Because we got.
So this is your 90-degree corner that you.
That's what I do.
You see, he uses quite a lot of the outside, and that's pretty much what you have to do. There's not a lot of track to use there.
Whenever I've done that, I've got a slow down penalty.
But this is the best corner for overtaking, in my opinion. If you can hug that inside of that corner, a lot of guys run it wide there. You can overtake
they lose a lot of pace. The other ones you've got are where we're just heading to now. The two left-handers that we're coming into now, because they can be. If you don't get them right, they're horrible.
They
And
can really slow you down
Yeah.
a lot. But it's a very difficult place if you're behind someone that's slow to overtake, is
Oh,
those
yeah.
two corners.
You need to get the run out coming off that corner. If you get the run off somebody, if you're far enough behind to not be hindered by them, you run off that corner.
I've had to hit the brake there a few times behind people, and then it sort of ruins your flow and you slide off.
Yeah, and they get further ahead of you then.
Yeah.
But if say for example, if you're like 4 or 5 cars behind them, which people might think
And
is
this
a bit
corner
too
is all about how risky you're willing to go, because you can go super fast around that last corner if you're willing to give it a go. But
it's what's known as balls to the wall.
You could easily end up, if you take too much of that curb, you'll be in the grass like we saw Rock earlier. It's a very common mistake on that corner.
That's surprising. That is quite a bit off there. 1.7 seconds.
And he just got knocked down by Ali again.
Yeah.
So the Matsutsi brothers showing their pace here, and Ratek, in all fairness.
They certainly are. Mark's doing us proud. He's doing us
right
proud
there,
tonight.
Underneath
He's doing the commentary team proud. He's making up for my pathetic efforts last week.
Oh, he's going to make me look bad just now, and I got to jump in.
You can make me look bad anytime. It's just a token thing. So that's the end of quali. Apart from anyone who's still out there. Obviously, Mark is still out there.
Mark Ratek's still out there. He's putting in his last lap.
And that weird noise you heard in the background was me taking my tablets.
I was just wondering where the other Scott, our new guy, Pickle, is, but I did send him an invite earlier. Wonder why
they may have the timings wrong. They may have. I mean, it's a common thing for a lot of people, especially if they're not used to working internationally, shall we say, from want of better words. But they might be a bit ignorant to that. So, and I've just been handed a parcel. Ooh, who knows? But Mark managed to. Did he improve there? No, he didn't.
Still on his way around. Still on his way around.
Oh no, of course, yeah. But it put me off then because it was saying
he's the last person on the track.
Where is he? Yeah, he's coming down.
Final one corner coming up.
See, this can put you off as well. Like you say, you get this right, it's great, but you get it wrong and you're heading towards the grandstand on the left-hand side, which is another popular place.
What you tend to do on this corner is you hit that inside, run it wide, but when you run it too wide, you hit that outside curb and it throws you back right across the track into the ditch just next to the pits. And that's not where you want to be.
He did improve by a bit because his previous was 143.3 something, so he improved ever so
very
slightly.
Close. I mean, it's looking like between Ratek and Matsutsi it'll be a battle, and even Kenny and Ali there. And we know Kenny always does well in a race, so let's see. Also, Ali, never forget about Ali on a start, especially if you've seen our rallycross, you'll see how quick he is on that.
Yeah. Thing is, it doesn't matter quite so much here. I mean, we got, 12 laps to reach the 50k?
Kenny, last time we did these cars, remember how quick he was pulling off there?
I actually thought I thought he'd false started, but he hadn't.
So did I. That was impressive stuff.
It wasn't premature acceleration, as I said previously, but it wasn't that. This will be interesting. I mean, doing one lap, being a one lap king doesn't necessarily mean you're a good racer. Although, to be fair to these guys, they do pretty much do what it says on the tin.
And you also don't quite know what their setups were for that qualifying. If they had enough fuel, I mean. Matsutsi looked like he was pitting a lot, so you don't know if he was maybe running so little fuel he could only do like 2 laps or so.
I think he was running light. We could have actually, as I thought, we could have put that up as well as the track map. We could have put that up, but because there's an option there to put that up as well. It'd be interesting to see what they're running with. Looking at there, that's Mark didn't get a very good start there.
Mark dropped back a few positions there. Kenny went up. And Ali to the front. So it's like we said with Ali and Kenny. I mean, both of them made up a lot of positions there.
jumped a bit. I'm not
Ali leading the race now in the front in that red car.
sure what happened there. But sometimes you do get a little bit of latency depending where people are based, and it can happen. I mean, most of the people have got through there.
It's a battle of the brothers.
But the thing is, that could fall into the hands of Kenny and Mark, because I can see I think Mark will take Kenny.
Mark Trist actually got Kenny there, so good move there from Ratic. He's back into third.
I think. I mean, I know it's easy to say because you can see it, but it looks like these
Matsutsi is looking, I think, around the outside.
You can see that. Oh, no. Oh, he did well. He did well.
He saved it, though. He actually saved it. I think he pulled it back.
Yeah, I'm just watching the replay of that. I just don't think he saw him there from what I'm looking at.
I think he tried to go around the outside of his brother, or either he thought he had outbraked him but just hadn't.
Yeah, and this game doesn't tell you. You know when you're near someone, but you don't know exactly what the proximity is. All the other things help you a bit, but sometimes they'll tell you that you're clear. So it wouldn't surprise me if his spotter said clear, and then just as he moves over, he says somebody to your right. By then, you've already started your move. It can be a bit misleading.
Put Ratic up into second now, so he's gained some positions back, which is a good job from him.
Something must have happened to Roy. I think he's been left a little bit. Might have had a little slip at the beginning there. It's quite possible. But if you are watching us tonight,
Ratic right on the back there of Ali. He might even take a look soon.
He's going to be there. He doesn't need to rush. To be honest, if he's got any sense, for me, he might as well just sit behind. He's better out that corner, but I don't think he's got a long enough straight here to do anything with.
I think this could be a corner where you might try. This to me is where you would do most of your overtakes. But you can see Ali defending.
Yeah,
as I say that, he goes inside. But now he's going to get undercut.
Yeah, that'll cost him.
So Ratic into first. I thought he would take a look there.
He shouldn't. He didn't need to do that like that. Because if it was a single turn,
I think he was trying to block, but check, he's got him back now, holding that inside.
But again, now he might get back. He might get back here now. But no, to be honest, he probably lost a little bit.
From experience with racing the GT4s the other week with Ali, he is very good at making that car as wide as a house on the track.
Oh yeah, he likes to get his elbows out a little bit and try and make himself wider, which is nothing wrong in that.
He's not dirty. He's not dirty. He's just very good at blocking. He's good at making that car hard to get past.
The thing is knowing your track. I mean, it's easier said than done. Don't get me wrong, but it's knowing your track and thinking, right, okay, if somebody can get around the outside and take you, then. I think like the top four are kind of pulling away from Tony and Roy, which is expected in truth because they're pretty fast guys in these things. And I think for the likes of G32 and Rock, I think for those two, they're not overly used to these cars. I know especially with Tony, Roy might be the same, but Tony likes to get into a car, get a feel for it, and then put some sort of setup into it.
So Ratic's got his lights on there. You know it's serious when the guys put their lights on.
Yeah, extra battery power, man. Just give me a bit of
extra.
Boost button.
I think Kenny and Matsutsi had that in Dubai the other week. They had their lights on. I think that's why they won.
Yeah, true. Lights mean everything. They do. Lights don't mean you're lighter, but again, Mark's
he's looking
try
again.
And do
I
the
think
under.
he's going to try. He's got him.
Oh, bit of contact there,
but I think
that was. I didn't see anything wrong in that.
He does.
I didn't see anything wrong in that. Again, I'm just watching the replay part of it. No, I think
pretty decent to me.
The door was open. The door was well open for him there.
Ali
He'll try and come back now.
Again.
That's the difficulty. I mean, Mark just did enough there, I think, because Mark didn't want to brake too soon, but by the same token, you don't want to brake too late either, because that gives him an open door. But the thing is,
how close it is though with Matt, because look at Carlo or Matsutsi there in third. He's caught right up to them again.
But that's what happens, isn't it? You know yourself. You have two people battling with each other. they're concentrating on each other, so somebody else behind has got the clean air and they've got the draft as well to try and catch up with. But also, he's going to take it back now, which he has. But also, what you're also thinking is, the two that are battling, what damage is it doing to their tyres and things like that? Whereas the guy who's caught up has probably got a little bit of an advantage in terms of tyre wear.
I think we're going to see Ratek go for the same corners here where he overtook the last lap or two. They pretty much just keep overtaking each other on the same corners.
Yeah, it's going to be nip and tuck here, I think. And I think it'll become a three-man. It virtually is now, but I think
racing.
It'll be...
They need to just be careful that Matsutsi doesn't slip through in this fight.
A bit... I think Matsutsi got caught out a little bit with Mark's braking there, because I think Mark had to brake because Ali braked. And then the knock-on effect. There you go. Matsutsi, he's putting his lights on. He's putting his lights on. He's saying, I'm here. No, I thought he was going to try and go for it then, but he didn't. I think he thought about it. It looked as if he made a slight move to the left, as if to think, am I going to try it? Or he might have been trying to...
The battle is on. We're only 4 laps into this 12-lap race.
Third the way.
This is an incredible battle.
Yeah, it's these three. They've kind of... Kenny's lost track.
I have to say, I'm quite surprised Kenny's dropped back there. He obviously isn't comfortable with his current setup on this track. You can just see Ali and Mark still fighting that, and Carlo looking up the
Mark's
inside.
Mark's going to come back past. Mark's going to come back.
And it looks like Matsutsi might go through
they're
as well.
They're both going to hit.
They do. But Ali's holding that inside line. I think he might outbrake him.
Yeah, if Mark's
late on the brakes, and there goes Matsutsi. He's
pushed it too far.
Late on the brakes.
Pushed it too far. Mark did the right thing, to be fair, because Mark held off to stay out the way of it.
Two brothers played chicken there, and Matsutsi didn't come out of that one.
But also, he might have lost a bit of front downforce as well. I don't know how that affects with these cars, if I'm honest.
That's helped Kenny, but Kenny's run it wide there. So Kenny was up to third, but he's just dropped back into fourth again.
We're going to split into like 2 battles again, aren't we? We're going to have a 1-2 and a 3-4.
I think so. But this battle is just not giving up. This is epic battle.
This will be brilliant for them. It's a shame.
They've pretty much changed twice every lap.
Yeah, it's pretty much nip and tuck there. He's just locked up there. Ali just locked up there, but he got away with it because he was on the racing line, so Mark couldn't take advantage of it.
That
so Mark had to brake.
To be the place where Mark carries a lot more speed, I think. He just keeps getting held up in that section.
Just saw Carlo there. It's just coming, holding on by the skin of his pants, coming round that corner, because he'll be trying his level best to try and catch back up with these guys. Again, there's plenty of time. It's a longish track. I think Kenny was going wide there in the background. I'm just watching the replay of that as well. But I think in terms of line, I think Mark's got it better. But he doesn't need to push completely.
He's got his lights on, so you know he's serious. Is he gonna risk it here?
Nah. He might try switchback though.
I think he's got a good lot of speed there.
That's where he gets it. But can you hold it then into the next set?
I think that's pretty much the fastest he's been through that first turn. You see, the problem usually is he's behind at this point, so he actually has to fight his way through.
See, that's the difficulty carrying into these.
I think if he can get to this next corner in front, I think that he might pull away here, because this is the section where he usually carries a bit more speed than Ali.
He's pretty good here. I mean, he's trying to defend it, but it's again, he'd be looking to carry it. No, he's not managed to carry it.
See, Ali just positions his car in the way that he can't take the line that he really wants.
No, and that's going to lose him pace, obviously, so he gets to sit behind. But in truth,
this is the section. If he could get to this section,
that's where he goes.
If he could get here ahead of Ali, I think he'd pull away.
Yeah,
that's
the
problem. Is every time he gets to this point, he gets stuck just behind him, and he has to hit the brakes.
And of course, all this is helping Carlo Matsutsi. This is all helping him.
You just see Kenny in the background run off.
Kenny's doing a bit of drunk drive simulator, I think. If you're watching this later, Kenny, mate, that's funny. We're not off-roading tonight, mate. That's
So
not
let's
tonight.
take a quick look here on lap 6 at G32. Nice looking livery, that one. I quite like it.
Yellow and blue. It reminds me of the Ukrainian flag. That's their colours, isn't it? Ukrainian flag is that colour.
Very nice colours.
I think it's blue, sort of blue gold, isn't it? Blue and yellow. Yeah, I believe so. I think.
And baby
right.
blue.
Oh yeah, baby.
Something's happened because Matsutsi's up into second and Ali has dropped into third. So I think Ali might have had a spin.
But he must have had a slip. He's not way back, but he must have had a little slip.
He's a lot further back. You can just check there. Ratek has got the lead he needs now.
Got 3.5 seconds.
And coming up for the first time to the section where we usually say he gets stuck behind the car in front, he's clear to go now. So I reckon we might see him pull away here.
Could do, because the best hope he's got is that the two brothers occupy themselves with fighting each other.
You can see there he didn't have to brake now, so he carried a lot more speed through that section.
And that will play perfectly into his hands. Because if they're battling each other like this...
Side by side.
But they're going to lose time, aren't they? They're going to lose time by fighting with each other. They should know that. And, I mean, what they're better off doing is trying to draft each other. And try and catch up with Mark. Because at the moment, he's just pushing that out now. Because not so much that he might be that much faster than them. Because if you look at the lap times... Matsutsic was the fastest on the last lap.
Matsutsi's the fastest, but he's had more since his mistake earlier. He's having to push harder to catch the guys.
I mean, Mark's just put in a 42.6, which might be the fastest of the race so far. I don't know.
I think he's got more laps in him like that. Remember, he was battling the rest of the laps before that with Ali, so he would have been getting roughly what Ali was getting anyway.
Yeah. And obviously they're both now going to struggle a little bit from fighting with each other and slowing each other down, which is going to.
So I think he definitely made a mistake because Ali is on a 148.
Yeah, man, you're saying that he did a 148. Carlo did a 45, which again is from their perspective is a little slower. Good thing is you've seen, looking at it from a different point of view, from looking at the. Tony and Roy, looking at G32 and Rock, they were both under 150 on the last lap. That's the first time I'd noticed that. But they were both, their times are starting to come down as they're getting more used to the car.
Yeah. And I mean, we've got another class racing after this. It's the KTM Expo Gt4 car, and you don't know, this could help them in that car as well. Just a bit of experience going around the track.
They're not massively. I mean, yeah, okay, they're different physically, of course they are, but in terms of handling, actually, if anything, the GT4 is probably a bit more safe. In truth, it's a little less.
I think it's actually a little slower than what these cars are. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the lap times in that are a bit slower than this.
I think there's not a lot in it. To be honest, I think it.
I think it's. I don't know if it's more to do with the acceleration. Maybe is a bit better than these.
The cornering in the GT4 is probably better. The GT4 corners really well. I mean, this can if you got it right, but the GT4 is more solid as Matsutsic decides to do a Kenny.
You got to say this car handles well on the off-road, though.
It does.
I mean, it's an all-weather car, off-road, and then they're not even spinning.
Yeah, it's not doing anything. If that was me, trust me, I'd be stuck in a dirt trap. I would. I'd be spinning my wheels everywhere, I'd be doing the dying fly in a car.
But you can see these two just did 142s now on that last lap. So
and they're reining Mark Ratek in a little bit, but that won't have helped either of them. That there. To be honest, all Mark needs to do is just. Like, he did a 143.2 last time out. He's probably pushing 90%. If that. Oh!
She's good move there around the outside.
Yeah, he just caught the curb. He just caught the curb then. Ali. he did well to hold that, actually, because at one point it looked like he was going to lose it slightly. I was just watching the replay. But again, these two fighting amongst themselves is brilliant news for Mark. It's everything he could have wanted. Because that is now...
They're pretty much driving this side by side the whole way. They're not...
I mean, the daft thing is, their lap times are faster than his, but the gap between him and them has actually grown. How weird is that? 3,000 of a second between...
Well, Mark Ratek just put in a 142, so...
There was...
Look at them touching side by side there. This is incredible. Oh, touching around that corner as well.
Yeah, I think
got to be careful, these two.
I think on the previous lap, like, Ratek put in a 619, and on the previous lap, I think Matsucic had put a 616. There was like 0.003 of a second between the lap times on the previous laps. He's gone wide again.
This is a close battle with these guys.
He's going to have a go here. He's going to have a go here.
That saying, rubbing his racing, is being taken.
But they both know each other so
here.
well, don't they? I mean, they should do as brothers. He lost it a bit there. Oh, they both did.
They touched there, the two corners of the cars.
Ali lost it first, then Carlo lost it, and they both ended up basically back where they were. But again, it's playing out to Mark. It's playing out to Mark.
They
it's
are
pushing him out.
hard, these two.
And again, it'd be interesting to see what Mark's next lap is. I reckon if it's faster, fair enough. But it wouldn't surprise me if he was now thinking, look, I've got 6 seconds here.
Well, he doesn't have the pressure on him now.
Correct.
He just needs to focus on his last 2 laps here. He just needs to put in... I mean, he doesn't even have to push for the fastest. He just needs to put in the good average times.
Yeah.
He's going to
just stay safe. Just nurse it. Bring it home, as they would say. But again, look at all the laps for everyone else now. Roy's done a 47.8. Tony's done a 48.7. The lap times have improved for those guys. Look at Kenny, 43.7. He's pulled in. Some of Kenny's lap times have been really good. I think his couple of spins and his bit of off-roading has cost him a little bit.
You probably find now he's also getting more into the rhythm of the track and everything.
That's a definite. There's no
I think for him, this is definitely going to help him for the next race. He's definitely going to come back stronger.
Especially for those who might not have raced Zhuhai that often. I've raced it quite a lot, if I'm honest with you.
Oh, there we go. Big fight. We can't go off these two because
it's
every
where
time
it's at.
we come back, there's just action.
It's where it's at, isn't it? Let's face it. It's where
we go take a look else. We go take a look elsewhere, and they say, "No, come back. We've got a show for you."
I mean, with a lap to go, I wouldn't like to guess who's going to win. I mean, the fact that there's a couple of cars gap at any certain point, I just think what Ali's trying to do. Ali's being quite smart because he's going into the corners and kind of slowing down a bit, possibly a bit more than he would normally.
It's like brake checking the car behind you.
Yeah,
it's what was getting me in Dubai. I found a lot of the corners, like I couldn't get past him just because he was in the line.
Yeah, and he's just holding his own pace.
It kind of makes you, as a faster driver in certain sections, because you hit the brake at an awkward time, you actually end up spinning out. It's quite an interesting
tactic. You're out of your comfort zone, aren't you?
Yeah.
Basically, that's what I was trying to look for. You are out of your comfort zone when that happens because you've got to rely on somebody else a little bit. You can't just take for granted the fact that you can brake in your normal place, because if they don't, then there's a guy behind, you're done for. So this will be interesting now, last lap.
At the final lap now, I don't know if there's a big enough gap there. I think Matsuzi's going to have to do some seriously late braking into some corners to catch him now.
He's got, what are we looking at, half a second? Couple of car lengths. He needs to outbrake him.
Corner to do it, it's going to be here, I think.
He needs to try and outbrake him. It's what I will call shit or bust. He's got to just... He's got a big enough lead over Kenny.
Good speed there.
He's got a big enough lead over Kenny to kind of get away with his minor mishap.
Ali tends to brake a bit here, so he might just get the run out of this one.
He's trying to go wide and get the pace coming out, but I don't think he's got enough.
Just don't think he's got it.
I mean, this is quite a long. This is his last straight. This is it. You know what? They're quite close there. You know, they're close. They're close.
They've actually caught up, I think, now to
Look,
Mark a bit as well.
He goes. Yeah, I don't think Mark's that bothered. I think Mark's just nursing.
He's taking a look. He's going up the inside.
He's going to get it. It's going to be tight. This going into the last corner.
Oh, he's tucked back in.
Yeah, he's got to try and go for it at the last corner. I don't think he's. Depends what happens here. If he's tried his best there to carry speed through, but it's not enough.
He hasn't done it. So Mark crosses the line in first place. Ali in second, third place. Matsutsi.
That's a good race.
Kenny not that far behind there. He's in fourth.
No, he was starting to get there. A couple of cock-ups at the beginning. 42.6.
G32 coming around. I think this is the last few corners now.
Yep, he's just.
But fantastic job there from Ratek.
Yeah, I think he had the pace anyway. Let's face it. But I think
he's making me have a hard job to work to now. How do I top that one? You know?
Yeah, you've got to. Yeah, you've got to win by like a mile. But
I wonder if he's going to try to do a victory donut here. No, they're going to do a formation.
These cars are too good sometimes to be able to do them properly. But they're gonna all come in like red arrows formation and do some sort of weird and wacky shape that we can all look at from overhead.
They got their lights on. You can see Matsutsi in the background with his smoke coming out. He's
trying his best. He's trying to do something. These cars hold too well for that. Unless they're just all trying to. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Who can spin out first? Yeah, look after your tyres, lads. Not. So, Mark takes it with... Look at lap times. See what I mean? 42.619, 42.616, 42.198. Sneaks it. Kenny, 42.625. Tony, 48.6.
Remember, this was Mark's first race in these cars as well. So, last week, most all of these guys raced the car already. It wasn't Dubai, but this is Mark's first race. So, he did a good job there.
Yeah, he's certainly got a feel for this car, I think. I think that's fair to say. But again, consistency wins. I know there's not much between the lap times of those three anyway, but I think the consistency, the better lines, the smoother lines probably is what won the day there. So, yeah, let's hear it for the commentary team. Not that we're biased in any way, shape or form, are we?
Yeah.
Surely not. Anyway, you're now going to do us proud. So
I'm going to tag Mark in now. He's going to come in as the cameraman, and I'm going to go and race in the new car.
Hey.
So once he's in here, I'm going to jump out.
Hey, and then jump into the GT4 and have some fun. And while you do that, I'm going to have a slug of this cup of coffee that my lovely wife has brought into me. Because she's very nice like that. Duh, you were rubbish in that race, weren't you, Mark? Terrible you were. Bloody hell,
how's it going, man? You alright?
that was a nice win, wasn't it?
I was just saying you've made my task hard now.
Yeah.
How do I live up to that one?
There's no pressure after that result. But to be fair, it was a great race to start with Ali and Matsusi really applying the pressure. And normally I crumble in them situations, but
not this time.
Battle of epic proportions. That was a good race.
I think once you got in front, the key was to get in front and let them two battle each other.
Anyways, guys, I'm going to jump out quick and let you guys carry on the
No
commentary.
worries. Have fun.
Okay. Best of luck, mate.
Keep up the good work. No pressure. No pressure. I lied.
I've just got one thing. I mean, who was last in that car out of the commentary team? I mean, there were sweet wrappers everywhere. There was, cans of energy drink and everything. There's a right mess in there. But
that's awful. That's awful. Definitely wasn't me. I don't do energy drinks. I don't need them. But I need de-energizing. I think it's probably something like that. But no, it was, like you say, it was good. It was good fun to watch. I think like Roy and Tony aren't as used to the car, but you could see during the race their lap times improved. and they were getting more used to the car as time went on. Kenny could be quick in it, but I think he had a couple of slips early doors and did a little bit of off-roading from what we could see. So that kind of put him out the game.
I was going to say, I was expecting to see Kenny catching me up at one point, and I was quite surprised, but obviously,
yeah, we were. He had the pace. He had the pace. He did. I think he did like as you three. I think Carlo's was 42.198. Yours was 619. Ali's was 616. So there was not much between you three in terms of times. I think Kenny was just a little bit behind that, but not by much. But the consistency was what he didn't have it in the early parts of the race. That lost him a bit. And crap start, I think. What did you do in the beginning? Did you not decide to go?
I decided to go, and then I thought, right, okay, I'm redlining in first here. How long have I been doing that for? I was expecting it to wheel spin and grip, and it just didn't. It just didn't pull away, and then I was on the back foot to start with, and I think that just gave me the incentive then, that slight aggression that you need sometimes.
Yeah, you can push a bit. I think it helps though sometimes. It's easier. I know it's easy. It's easier to lead from the front, but it's also easier to sort of let them lead off. Our Tarmac's joining us. It's easier for them to lead off and then just hopefully get into the slipstream, which you were able to do quite easily. The difficulty in this was, it's like, obviously, if they're trying to defend and they're defending quite well, it's looking at, with a lot of the ways that the corners are set up here, every corner that you can get past is usually a switchback option. It was good. That was good. And Ali did some awesome defending. Real brake checked me on the mid part of the corner where I was following a different line, and I know, because
really
you were carrying more
momentum.
pace. Basically, I mean, technically he's within his rights to do it in the way that he does it. Yeah, but he knows that it would. That's a point where you really had an advantage if he were to let you have that and run your normal line. So by him running his line, where he's a lot slower than you, basically that actually gained him time on you, because by the time you're slowing down, he's accelerating and he gets 2 or 3 cars away from you again. You've got to go all again.
And I think if you look at any form of motorsport, every driver that's in front in a defending position would do that, and it was brilliant driving from him. And I thought you're risking it, mate, because I'm not the best on the brakes, and you know that.
he got his elbows out well, but he did it in the right way. I mean, there's getting your elbows out and there's getting your elbows out. There's doing it in a way which is acceptable and it's not reckless, which is the way that he did it. There's other people doing it, which is like moving and being stupid. But no, he did it the right way. That was good to watch.
Exactly. I think within a lap we both worked out our strengths and
where you were good, where you were carrying the pace. You carried it really well through the corner that I hate, the dog leg 90-degree thing that I can't stand, but you seem to carry it quite well through that.
It's just keep it cautious and keep it off the curbs. The curbs can snatch you on this track. They really do fling you out. I had a couple of, I'd say about 7 or 8 laps of practice last night, which was just enough to give you a good feeling. Yeah, and of course we've done other races on this circuit, so
I don't mind the circuit. I'll be honest with you. It's one I grew to kind of like. I didn't like it in the beginning, but it's one that I kind of got into it. And it's like every circuit, I suppose. The more you race it, the more you think, you know what, it's not bad, this. Not bad. Yeah. Again, you get used to it and you start to appreciate it for what it is. So, right, first man out the pits then.
Yeah, Matsushi, he's keen. Obviously, he's just had that good race, so he's just got to try and find a feeling for this car, that's the right gaggle of cars coming out the pits now.
Be interesting to see lap times, what they relate to, because if you remember at Dubai, there wasn't much between the lap times, so we're looking around 42s, 43s to be similar. Because I think the Expo wins the acceleration, but I think this is a better corner. This is really good in the corners.
There's one thing I was surprised on, tyre temperature didn't really get up excessive. It was all in the blue majority of the time, except for when we were really hard battling.
And that's why I think it did more for the two behind you. Then once you got in front, per se, and stayed there, because one thing that we did miss, obviously we kept jumping. We were mainly with you guys for the majority, as you'll see later. But one thing that we didn't see, I'm assuming, I'm trying to think who it was now. Was it? Did Ali take a little spin or something? Something happened because he dropped.
When me and him were battling up at the front, I took the defensive line because he was coming on, and I think he outbraked himself, and I think he ran out into the dirt a little bit.
Yeah, so that lost him. Because it was typically. After watching it for ages, we sort of move off and have a look at somebody else for a couple of seconds, and then obviously you notice, Mark's now got a 3.5 second lead, and obviously Ali had dropped back into third. So at that point, so you think, right, he's obviously gone wide, he's come off, he's done something.
It was that breathing space that I just needed. It was. I found myself really tense in me seat, and I was.
You were clenching a bit.
I was. Yeah.
It was a good race, though. It was really good. It was really like I said, like you alluded to earlier, and we said in the commentary, we were kind of expecting Kenny to catch up a little bit as Tarmac does a little bit of off-roading. Rallycross is not tonight. Okay. He's trying to get used to the drifting because that's what he does in real life. So he does do some drifting, so he should know what he's doing with that. He tries to blow up beamers. He tries to blow up beamers and break them. He does it quite well, from what I'm led to believe.
And that's what you kind of find. A lot of people from various motorsports and stuff, use sim racing as a kind of like a form of enjoyment because it does give you so much more realism in the actual.
Without the repair bills. Oh my God! I've just done all my pistons. Oh dear. Yeah. New engine, gents. No, that's okay. You can just press restart and then it's all sorted.
I was going to say, Kenny's coming there with the first lap time. That's just a warm-up lap time, I'd say, of a 1:51.
Yeah, I'm looking at. I mean, if this gets close, because again, Dubai was a tight track with tight corners, probably tighter corners than this. So, if anything, I would have thought that this car might be a bit closer to the times. Be interesting. I'm expecting 42s, 43s, but now I said that, I'll probably be miles out.
No, I think anywhere right now. I haven't actually driven this car around this track.
There you go.
So.
42s,
43s, so bang on. And you'd expect them to come in a little bit quicker than that once they got tyre temps completely up and maybe lost a bit of fuel. I went out there with a full amount of race fuel just so I could bang in as many laps as I could.
Yeah, well, you're not worrying about it then. And again, like we've alluded to before, most of these cars are built around a full tank. The balance of the car is built around a full tank. So people think, running lighter will make me faster. In theory, yes. But if it's at the detriment of the balance of the car, not necessarily. So there's those things to throw in the argument through. What's our commentator car doing? He's going to wait until the end, isn't he, and put in a fast lap. He's lulling us into a false
put
edge.
in one. 49? Just put it on there now, 49. Just G32's just done slightly quicker there.
Yeah, him and Roy, him and Rock had more of a struggle in the Expo. They struggled. Oh! Who was that?
I think it was. No, is that Roy?
Oh, it was. Yeah. See what I mean?
Straight back to the pits.
Instead of having a huge repair bill and then going to hospital for all the whiplash injuries that you just got, you just decide to press reset, go into pits, and come back out as if nothing's ever happened. Isn't it?
Just carry on.
The beauty of
Let's try again. Definitely, but we're halfway through this qualifying, so this is where you'll see the faster laps coming in now.
Where you'll be thinking. People will be
Matt
trying to leave it.
41.9 there. That's quick.
Like I say, this car. I think this car corners really, really well. It might not be as fast off the mark as the Expo. I think the Expo at low end acceleration is probably a little bit better. Higher end, this might be better, but I just think this car corners really, really well. And a track like this suits it. He blew that around, didn't he? He chucked that one around. He's really trying to push it. Definitely trying to push this one around.
He's definitely quick, and then
again,
Kenny's second behind him.
Again, bit of a wiggle there, but he's trying to use as much of the track as he can to maintain the pace.
That's what I found, is you've got to run it right out to the curbs, and then the curbs, as I say, once you get over the curb, it spits you out wide.
Like he just did there to him. That might have just ruined his lap, but I don't think he'd lost. Oh,
that has ruined his lap.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's one of them where he had enough time to be able to do that. He could put himself back in the pits if he wanted to, come out, do a warm-up lap. He'd still have time to do another fast one, but the gaps come down. Gaps down.
As you say, though, 141.9. He's top qualifying. Why not risk it on this next lap? You know what I mean?
Nothing
You've already got
lose,
your banker in,
Yeah, nothing to lose. If you can put a marker down early doors, then anything after that, really, you've taken the pressure off yourself, haven't you? You can just try and go for something silly. If it comes off and you get a really stupidly good time, then happy days. If you don't, no problem. I think, obviously, for most of the guys, they're more used to this car. I think for Tarmac, obviously, he's got to get used to this car. He's probably just done a jump in, no practice, no nothing. But what you'll probably find is his times will get better during the course of the race. Probably won't help his finishing position, but the times, I'd expect to see the times improving towards.
But then, I mean, like, not everybody has enough personal time to do any practice, do they? And that's what you kind of. Everyone can appreciate that when you're racing it. You know, some people have a bit of time, spare time to practice. But some people put in a lot of practice and stuff. But
I know people that do relentless. I mean, hundreds of laps practice. I know people who do that, and to be honest, I'd fall asleep in boredom. I think if I was just whizzing around the track on my own. Oh, that lap's gone for Kenny. That's the end of his attempt.
Check out Ali's got Roy, I believe, right on his tail. So,
well, that might help. That might help from Roy's point of view.
Just follow his lines and see his braking points.
I think he's aborted it. Has he? Did he abort it then, or was that just? Wasn't sure. Or he might have just outbraked himself a little bit in the corner. He just seemed to lose an awful lot of ground at that point, so I didn't know whether he'd give the pun but pulled out. but then again, it don't look so bad now.
I think he's just got a safe distance behind him just to make sure that he's not going to give him a nudge under braking or anything, is it?
Or he might be giving himself, tricky. I think we got enough time, he might be giving himself enough, I'm going to say, he might be giving himself enough chance to get one fast lap in, but I don't think that he did at the start.
I think Ali's give up on that.
Yeah, which is fair enough, I think. And Tony's around.
He's having a good run. I mean, everyone's just moved. Tarmac's had a good run. He's up into fourth. So
that's right. It's just getting used to it, isn't it? It's just getting in. So Ali stayed where he is. Everybody else is out there, so everyone else has still got a chance to do something. Certainly a possible for everybody.
I think this lap matters for everyone, doesn't it? Yeah. Who's first on track?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you might have an option for the track map there. You might be able to stick that up, and that'll tell us exactly who's where.
Right, now you're asking, aren't you? This is not something I normally do, but how's that, mate?
I do. I always stick it up. I just think it's good to see. I usually put the speedo up as well to look, depending on the race, to see how much fuel they're carrying during the race. But it doesn't really matter for these because they're short sprints. But
just trying to figure it out here is. So this is the first. Tarmac's going to be the first one over the line to finish.
And he's got two right behind him. Is that
K9? Yeah.
So let's see, what have we got?
Tarmac, does he move up? I don't think he does.
No.
K9, I don't think he moves up either.
had anything there, did we?
No,
But again,
no
look
gains.
but the times are still. It might be 7th, but okay.
Roy's just coming over.
Oh,
he moves up one space.
Yeah, he's got in there.
And who's that going to be that last car?
Oh, is it Tony? Yeah. G32's coming around. See if he can get himself.
Just move himself. Roy's just moved him down that one space, and he gets his place back.
I think he did. So, just before he disappeared.
Yeah, so good work there by G32. He just claimed his 5th place back there.
See, there's not much in that. There's not much in that. Look. I mean, if you see the sectors briefly, okay, the one that Kyle loses all his time on is sector 1. That's his worst sector, which is again it's. I think the dog leg part is just into sector 2, is it, or is that the end of sector 1? I can never bloody remember.
Which one's that? The dog leg that you don't like?
Yeah.
That'll be the end of sector 1, that won't it?
Yeah, because I think you've just gone through there where sector 2 starts, and then you've got like the hairpin, haven't you, at the end?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think this is certainly not a foregone conclusion. I think that's, I think that's fair.
Matt Sutsy with that one lap that stuck to take the pole. Kenny just alongside him, so he's going to. I think he's going to try to move into turn 1, isn't he? If he we've seen Kenny have some good starts in these cars. Generally, he gets it off that line really well.
If it goes to form, we should end up with a 2-tier race. Without being disrespectful, we should have a 2-tier race with certainly the top 3. Tarmac might be able to hang on to their coattails. And then you probably got Tony, Roy, and Kyle, G32, Rock, and K9. The 3 of them being in a fight. Tarmac could be in either of those 2 battles, depending on how consistent he is.
Yeah, but we know. I mean, like the two brothers there, Ali and Matsushi. We know how hard they race, and I was thinking, I'm dropping time all the time. You know, when we were racing hard.
Oh yeah, so you do. That could play into the hands of the in inverted commas slower guys, but
I think Matsushi, Kenny's along inside him. Kenny's into the lead,
and he's got that corner.
He's getting inside line, so Matsushi got no response on that first corner.
He's held it there. This is where who's taking the dive there?
That'd be Roy.
Yeah, he's taking a dive.
That's Roy in the blue one.
But again, this will be. I think the whole race will be actually a good battle. Oh, he's gone wide.
Roy just goes out wide there, losing a bit of time.
Not too bad. Could have been a lot worse, but it's not too bad.
Yeah.
As Matsuchi
still held position.
See again, you'll get. I think he looked at that and thought, you know what, it's not worth it. Oh,
K9 just going up the inside.
Was it?
Yeah, just K9 was up the inside into that hairpin right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just not sure if it. I was trying to look at a replay there. I couldn't really tell what was up there. If there was anything in that, but I don't think there was, if I'm honest. It didn't look it particularly.
Still pretty close at the front with only half a second between Kenny and Matsushi there.
Yeah, they're still pretty close-ish. Roy's just trying to get.
Roy's having a look. Matsushi's spun. Matsushi.
That could put the cat among the pigeons, so to speak.
Yeah, so that allows Ali into second place, but 2.5 seconds already off the back of Kenny. Roy up into third.
First lap. We've not finished lap 1.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Roy. What's happening down the straight?
Yeah. Is that just me? Was it looking like
Kenny must have had a moment. Yeah, must have had a moment coming out of that last corner.
And he's just kind of
really slow
lost.
down that straight. Get proper mugged down that straight, doesn't he?
Yeah, I suppose once you've lost pace, then if everyone else is 20 miles an hour quicker than you, then.
Oh,
who was that going?
G32's just had a bit of a. No, it wasn't. It was Matsushi again.
Yeah, again, he's probably he's probably trying to push. And the thing is, when you spin, your rear tyres are too hot. So you're trying to push it again with tyres that haven't got grip. and then you lose it again.
You can just see K9's moved up into third
he's right
place
up behind
now.
him. He's right up behind him. He's getting the
Kenny's
draft off.
right up behind him.
They're all together now, kind of. Pretty much.
He's.
Well, you've got the front five.
It's a good group there.
You've got the front five. Obviously, Tony's a little bit off. Oh, contact there between Kenny and Kyle.
K9, yeah.
Oh, no.
Then again for K9, but at least it didn't drag them both off.
No, they were a bit closer. I don't think they knew where each other were then.
So that's
that was tight again. That was tight again now.
It's tight again, yeah. Just stick it on that. I was just going to jump to show that Rock is in second place now.
Yeah. I mean,
only 1.5 seconds behind Ali, so he's got some pace to keep up with Ali.
Oh, here you go.
Ooh.
Has he let him
I thought
past
K9...
I think he let him past. I
don't know whether K9 must have had a wobble on that last corner like Kenny did on the previous lap.
Because he flashed him as well, so I think he might have let him past.
Right. Maybe he felt like he...
might have impeded him a bit.
Oh dear.
There's a bit of off-road in there.
Not sure whether K9's got a bit of damage there.
Yeah, or did he just... Was he just losing the rallycross bit? I'm trying to look at the car. It doesn't... I can't see anything, but... that's not going to help.
How it's acting. It doesn't seem very stable on corners, does it, anymore?
No, the rear end... And again, I'm trying to look for... Have we lost somebody? We have.
Yeah, Matsushi. Matsushi must have
destroyed himself.
Yeah, must have felt like there was not much reason to carry on. It's either that or a disconnection, but
I think he just kept...
Roy's having a good run.
I think because he'd come off, he was trying so hard to get back again, and he just kept spinning it because his tyres will be too hot from the spin. Your tyres will be way too
You've got to give
warm.
it a lap of cautious driving. You're probably still going to lose more time over the next lap, aren't you? Just trying to cool everything back down and get it back into a rhythm.
And that's the downside if you mess up in a sprint race. In a long race, hey, look, if you're racing for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, it's not too bad because you've got those options. A lot can happen, but if you're in a sprint race, you make a mistake.
Roy's just gone out wide there.
Yeah, that's cost him a place. Kenny's passed him.
Kenny's coming alongside him, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to... Obviously, he was half in the dirt. He was probably fighting tooth and nail to keep himself out of the dirt completely. Because it does try and drag you across, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Especially that corner. You're carrying a lot of speed through that corner.
And your natural gravitation is to go that way anyway. And then a bit of dirt thrown in as well. But it's still pretty close between these three. Then you've got, obviously, Tarmac, G32, and Kyle there. Obviously, spin didn't help him there, but we're still 2/3 of the race left. So
yeah, a little bit of distance, equal distance between these three.
Yeah, there are sort of like 2 or 3 seconds a piece, or two and a bit a piece. But again, it's still there to be fought for. Fourth, fifth, and sixth is still not a foregone conclusion.
No, I think K9's got back into the rhythm now and probably cleaned his tyres up a little bit. As I say, I mean, like tyre temperatures in the other KTMs didn't really get up to what your working range, what you'd want them to be. Yeah. And
what was the track temp? I obviously we don't get to see that, which is a bit annoying. But...
To be fair, mate, there was that much going on. I didn't even look at that. I had dialed in already and stuck with my setup that I'd gone with last night, even though I did practice in cloudy conditions for some reason rather than sunny. But
yeah, but at least if you got used to, if you could handle the colder tyres, then in all fairness, then that's probably you'd have had less grip with them. So that's probably why it might have felt a bit better today, possibly.
Kenny's having a look. He's having a look, and I think he's brought Roy along with him, hasn't he?
I think we got a 2-split race, haven't we? We got a 3-3 race. Like I say, with Tarmac, you just didn't know if he could have put some good laps together. See, that's Tuffy. Kenny had a much better line with that, but
yeah,
Ali's the lead car, so if he stays on the racing line, then Kenny's either got to think, do I push it and go out wide, or do I brake early and then try and come on the power a bit later? See, Ali doing that cost him. It cost him in the other race with you. He tried to brake hard into there, but that then cost him in the next two corners, because the next two corners benefited the other guy.
He's holding position, and he's going to have the inside line for this next turn.
This is like the fourth part, but Kenny's, it goes off at the end of quali.
Oh, right, there we go.
But like I say, that it played into Kenny's hands, because the way that those four corners kind of interlink. So once he'd given away the first corner, there's a bit of touch there. There's a touch there.
Ali's, can he hold that back?
Yeah, it's not.
I think he's gone out a lot of wide.
Again, I'm watching that. It's not Kenny's fault. I'm watching that. Ali might have thought that Kenny maybe closed on him, but no, it didn't. It didn't look it from what I was looking at. If I'm honest with you, I think Kenny had the right there. I think Ali thought he could go for a gap, and the gap wasn't as big as he thought, or maybe he got caught out with the braking, possibly. But it didn't look anything skullduggery. Let's put that one out there. It looked pretty fair. I think it was just a racing incident from my perspective, but that's what you get for sometimes for trying to gamble. There's 6 more laps left yet. Take your time.
Definitely. I think Roy's having a good run tonight.
Yeah.
He's definitely, he's up there. He's not too far.
He's in the groove. He's stayed. All he needs to do is stay there or thereabouts. No. I mean, that's giving me...
Ali's back on track, cleaned his tyres. We saw him run wide on that last turn, coming down the final turn, coming down that straight, but
he'll try and
a lot of dirt
up
on his tyres. Yeah, I think he'll probably have pace to try and catch up. Someone's in...
That'll be Carlo, won't it?
Yeah.
But yeah,
just if you look further back.
And you've got Tony's not far behind Ali, not that far. I mean, okay, it's 5 seconds or 4 and a bit seconds, which is still a reasonable distance, but you can see him. Oh, he's
kind of stuck there. He's got a little bit of gap in front and nice,
he's got a buffer in both ways, hasn't he? He's got a nice buffer. What, 8 seconds between him and
no pressure,
K9.
Just to bang in your laps and find your own rhythm, isn't it? There.
And again, look at the lap times. I mean, forget Ali's lap time, but look at everybody else. 40. Okay, that's just changed. They've just changed to 43s, but they were 44s. So you got 43.1, 43.9, 44.2, 44.4, 44.9, 46.4. Not much in that.
No.
Oh, Kyle's lost it.
Just saw him in the background there. That final turn.
I'm just watching the replay now as he comes in. He's a bit too much full send, I think, coming into that corner. I think what he's done, again, you've got a bit of a dog leg from the curb. I think he's tried to ride the curb and the curb's pushed him out a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
Played into Tarmac's hand, so he's made that position back up now. And
he's probably gutted. He's probably gutted now because that's cost him. He's like 11 seconds. A 2:03 lap. That's easily cost him quite a lot. But hey, there's still 5 laps left. Well, 4 and a bit. Anything can happen, and it usually does.
Yeah. We'll go back to see Roy. Ali has caught him in a little bit, but he's not gaining massively on.
No, he's not. Again, these 3 are spread out pretty. It looks pretty even in terms of the spread between. You've got like 4 seconds. I know it's coming a little bit, but Kenny's got away a little bit there.
Kenny's got his breathing space, hasn't he, now? No pressure, just kind of driving his lines. We know how smooth he can...
Yeah, nice clean air, and he's the fastest man on the track at the moment.
Yeah.
Roy's the second fastest on track. It's kind of going to form here on lap times. The fastest guy is first, the second fastest guy. Although that lap was a little bit slower from Roy, so Ali...
See what Ali comes over at?
His was slow, 47. So that's
Must
kind
have
of
had a
helped Roy a
moment
lot.
somewhere.
Again, they were all slower on that lap. How weird.
What's that, lap 8?
Yeah.
You'd think, whether it, as you say, your fuel distribution's gone and they're probably
Time
getting
to
to a lighter load. Yeah, the balance is kind of just shifting a little bit, and that's something to
how much these
try
tyres
and
are wearing in this car. I know it corners well, but how much load that puts on the tyres is something I don't really know. That's why I'd love it if we had like things like tyre graphics and stuff like that. It'd play so much into the broadcast to help us, because you could turn around quite easily and say, right, Kenny's out front. Obviously, he can nurse his tyres. He's out front. You got two guys battling, like the two brothers were in the last race. Their tyres were obviously going to take more of a battering than yours were, being out front. And it plays into it. Again, you have a little spin, you're trying to catch up with people. Again, you look at lap times there of, like, Ali's 47. I don't think Tony will catch him, although it's dropped down a little bit. But then Tarmac and Kyle are pretty spread. If they all stay on the track, then it'll probably be these positions. They're all quite spread out now. As luck would have it, call it whichever way you want. Events have led to that. Because it did look as if we were going to have a three-way battle, but I think a couple of spins and one or two bits have kind of spread it out a bit.
Yeah, just give everyone that breathing space, hasn't it?
Yeah, they can all, like I say, I think barring a disaster, they all finish where they are. But if everything went to plan, nobody'd watch anything, would they? Let's be honest.
No.
Come on.
Everyone lives for the drama.
Yeah.
It's
what you all want, really. Nobody admits it, but let's face it, it's what you all want to see.
Yeah.
Everybody does it. Again, lap times are coming down again now. So it's almost as if everyone just had a crap lap. This is kind of a bit bizarre. It's sort of like a knock-on effect, and now the laps.
At least everyone had it on the same lap. You know?
It was just kind of weird that the way that panned out. Everyone just did it on that particular lap. Lap 7 was just like crap for everybody. But hey, it is what it is. I'm just looking at these times now. Roy slowed down a bit on the last lap. Not hugely, but he put in a 45, and that gave Ali a little bit. He gained like 1.3 on that lap. I mean, if he could do that between now and the end, then it might be interesting. But whether that continues, I don't know. That depends on Roy. I think Kenny's.
Ali's just given a.
Yeah, that's just put pay to that. That might give G32.
Just ran wide.
G32 is going to go past him, so we're going to have a battle now for third.
Yeah, I think, with Ali, he's got to just bear in caution the next couple of corners, clean his tyres off again, and get the grip levels back up.
But that's what I mean. You just don't know what's going to happen, do you? You don't know. So 1 and 2, again, barring disaster, I think they are home and host, I would expect. But this is going to be the battle now, which we probably weren't expecting, and Tony's probably thinking, this is a bit of a bonus.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll have a little race. You just don't know what's going to happen, do you? You wouldn't have thought Ali would be racing him, trying to battle for third place, if I'm honest.
Ali just caught that one tyre on the grass, didn't he? And just brought the back end round.
Tony's probably going to feel the pressure a little bit, but he's thinking, two laps. Just hold it together. Don't do anything daft. Just hold it together.
Them lights ablaze in your rearview mirror. You always find yourself looking a bit too much in the rearview mirror in them situations, don't you?
I mean, that's the thing after time. It's not so much that you make a mistake, it's the fact that you look in the rearview mirror, and by the time you focus back on what's in front, you've missed your braking point. Only by a tad.
Exactly.
Or, it doesn't need to be much, does it, as you know?
No.
One slight deviance, and it's all gone to doo-doo, for want of better words. He's holding it, though. He's holding it.
Yeah, and the gap seems to be maintaining. Maybe Ali's just reeled him in a little bit, but...
That's Tony's best lap delta, it said there, for that sector, 0.198, better than what he's done previously. So, trying to push it a bit. Be interesting to see what the lap times are at the end of this. Lap, because just hitting the last corner now. It depends. A lot depends on what sort of exit Ali gets there. Tony took that corner quite well, I think.
He did. I think he had a nice run through there, didn't he, Tony? He kept it stable and his best lap there.
What did he do? Yeah, 43.9.
43.9.
4.1 for Ali. So
it's Ali of
44.1. Yeah, 40. So interesting. Now he's there a nice little sweaty battle for the last 2 laps.
Yeah.
I think it's in some ways it's easier to be the car that's behind, depending how close you are. But I think he's got a pretty good gap here, and if he just keeps it, easier said than done. I know, because Ali's got to push it. He's got to try and push. And I think if
he's going to be hungry to get that position back, isn't he, Ali? He's already having a look late breaking there, a little bit of a lock up.
I mean, he's gained some off it. It's one of those what I call a shit or bust moment. I think he might leave it until into the last lap, because I think he only gets one go at this. I think if he goes for it at the wrong place and loses ground, he'll lose too much ground to have another go before the race finishes. So it would be. Oh
dear!
I'm just watching. Trying to watch the replay. He's caught the curb, I think. It goes, yeah.
Yeah, just ran out a bit wide.
Yeah, that's put paid to that. I think that's a sixth place finish.
Shame for Ali. Yeah, shame for Ali.
But that's what happens when you're the car behind. You're trying to push.
I think he's retired to the pits as well.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he has. I think he was a bit knackered after that.
Yeah, I think there's going to be that much damage. It's not enjoyable to try and drive a car, is it? No, even only for one lap.
It probably wouldn't have been drivable, if I'm honest, and I think the other guys would have gone past him. So he might as well. I mean, he's sixth anyway, and he's out, which is probably as good as it was going to get. Kenny's halfway. Nah, not quite halfway, but he's close to.
It's close. Roy's had a solid run, solid performance, and no issues when other people have, had them mistakes. He's kept his nose clean, so to speak.
The consistency's been there.
Yeah. Tony's going to be happy with that, third place.
Yeah, it wasn't looking like it, was it? from early on. But again, you don't know, do you? Even in a 12-lap race, amazing things can happen.
Sometimes I hate doing this on the final lap, like just scrolling through and mentioning, solid race, you'll be happy with that. Commentators curse over his
and they just go, woof, oh dear, he's just killed himself. Oops, oh dear, it's a bit of a mess. I mean, again, I think Tarmac might be disappointed in just the race itself. Some of his lap times are quite good, but again, the consistency wasn't there. I think the same for Kyle as Kenny goes and takes the
checkered flag there.
Yay! So it was a flash of your lights.
Yeah. No, okay. Nothing from Kenny.
Saving
I think
energy.
Roy will give us a flash.
Yeah, keep it clean.
He'll be happy. I'm sure he'll be happy with that result.
Second place is good. That's a good solid run. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. It's alright, I thought for a minute. And Tony will certainly take a podium. Yay, there you go. We get a flash of lights there.
Nice flash of lights.
Go on, plough into them both. Go on, you know you want to.
Exactly.
Go on, you know you want to.
I think licenses are still on, isn't it?
They're all going to line up alongside each other. There we go, we got to have Kenny now. They're going to all line up next to each other. As Tarmac comes around.
There's your money shot of your top three.
Takes a fourth place. Is he going to do a drift? What's he going to do? They're all going to line up alongside each other. In which case, there won't be enough room for Kyle, will there? They all do that. He wants to go and do a donut. Go on. No, these cars don't. These cars don't do it the same. A fifth place for Kyle. Is he going to go for the 10-pin bowling? No. But again, it's an eventful race. Fastest lap, 41.7 from Kenny. That was a good lap. But look at all the rest. Forget Carlos, obviously that wouldn't have been his normal, but all the laps are well within range.
Yeah.
Everybody's within range.
It was a good run, and it sets it up well for Thursday night with the endurance. Everyone's, found a rhythm in the car, so to speak.
Yes, I think they got used to that. they are good fun. They're fun cars. Let's face it, they're fun cars to race in. In all fairness, well, that was an interesting race, wasn't it? Oh man,
It was
did you do some
eventful
off-roading?
race.
Oh yeah, Chris put 34 suspension damage.
That's never easy to drive a car with suspension damage, is it?
I got to the end.
That track's not an easy one for suspension damage.
no.
I got muscled a bit at the start and ended up with a lot of damage as well. So the car was just jumping everywhere. The wheel was twisted the one way the whole time, and then going down a straight, it's shaking left and right.
The joys of racing with damage.
It did look like that. I noticed like you had a few little knocks here and there, and then after that you saw that your car wasn't settled in the corners. And
yeah, it was early. I only got about a lap or two before I got a bit, and then it just led to more. I eventually spun a few times.
That's the problem, because once you're, I mean, again, what put paid to both Ali and Carlo, what put paid to both of them was they have a little spin, they lose a bit of time, but then you're redoubling your efforts to try and catch up to where you were, but your tyres are still too hot from the spin, or they've got too much dirt on from where you've run off track, and you haven't got the grip. And then you go to the next corner and you spin again. Because you're trying so hard to get back, so you're pushing the car a bit more than you would normally, plus the tyres aren't back into the optimum level. You need a lap to get over it. But you don't want to wait that long. So you end up... How many times have you done that in a race? I've done it tons. You spin once, your concentration breaks, your tyres are gone, you're trying to race as if they're fine, but they're not, and you spin 2 or 3 more times, and before you know it, you basically just ruined your own race. And then you quit in a paddy, like I've done before.
I don't quit, but I just drive with a car that doesn't work.
Yeah, I just go to pits and mope.
But,
I call myself a
it was
muppet.
looking like lap 1 or 2, it was looking okay, and then I just got I think it was when I got into 3rd position. I got seriously muscled out the way a bit, and then I just got then I think the next person muscled their way past, and then
I think
picked
there were
up
2
some
or 3
damage off of that.
There were 2 or 3
and then once
that
I
were
had
quite
that
close.
damage, then it just went downhill from there. It was just.
That's why.
But anyways, but
it was all good, clean. There was nothing naughty.
It looked like the guys were the ones that had raced the previous one. Like they were looking comfortable in qualifying on the track. I noticed their times and stuff.
Even though it's a different car, they're very similar.
They were probably. I think some of them might have been running a little bit of fuel. I was running quite a lot of fuel because I didn't know how much fuel to go with. So I was trying to use what I was going to use in the actual race for that, and
just to get used to it.
It was interesting.
I did that a lot of the time. I don't use qualifying for qualifying. I use qualifying to get used to the track and the car.
Yeah. Well, you want to know how it's going to drive the whole race. You know?
Exactly. And that's more important than a one-lap wonder, isn't it? From your point of view, just jumping in without the requisite practice that you'd probably have loved to have got in an ideal world. And I've just noticed that your license, you've actually got 1 more point than Mark. You're on 1504 and he's on 1503. I just noticed that now.
Take that.
Yeah.
For that performance, after my night and your night, I should be 1 point in front of you now.
I think I've gone down. I'm pretty sure I was higher earlier.
But no, they were 2 pretty good races. Again, like I say, I think Tony enjoyed his. He probably wouldn't have expected a podium at the start of it, and again, I don't say that disrespectfully, but obviously he would have known that there were faster guys than him in the race. But
and Rock must have been up there too. I saw his name up there.
Roy finished second. So good solid run, because you would have thought your money would have been on Kenny and Matsucic and Ali. You would have thought your money would be on those 3 to probably be fighting out for the top 3 places. But as it went, only one of those people were there. Even in a 12-lap race, you don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah, see, my race was like all the action happened in the first like 3 laps. That's where it started and ended for me. I'm just checking back.
Yeah, it was good. It was damn good fun. Now, who's this Mark Ratcliffe guy? Oh yeah, I know him. Yeah, and Chris.
No idea.
I thought Tarmac did quite good with the damage. To be fair to him, I thought he did all right with that. But he had a couple of early disasters. But again, I think a lot of people, there was nothing much in terms of any of your pace within reason. It was really, really close as far as pace goes. It was just who was more consistent. Roy was really consistent, stayed out of trouble for the most part, I think, from what I remember. And he wasn't the fastest guy out on track. I don't think he was the second fastest, not by a long shot, but he was solid. And he put in good solid laps. I saw you catch it up, Kyle. You were catching up really well, and then you caught a curb, which sort of said, see ya. Which didn't help you, but...
I don't know when that would have been. Maybe I had the when I started spinning, I had already got the suspension damage.
Ah, right, you already had that then, did you? It looked as if you'd caught a bit of a curb.
I actually picked up, I did catch curbs, but that was, the problem wasn't so much the curb, it was the car was bouncing a lot with the damage, and I couldn't figure out how to catch it with the wheel sideways.
It's not easy either, especially if you point in a quarter past to go straight.
I made a couple mistakes because of that. I actually had picked up a bit of damage from the contact with the cars first of all.
Yeah.
And then later on I was spinning and I just come back and got everything sorted again, and then a car behind me crashed into the back of me and I hit the wall. I don't know who it was.
That was not great then.
So
I mean,
that once I got that, I was done. But
it shows it's not over till it's over. I mean, okay, you may have thought with the nightmare, then you might have thought last place is happening here, but as it was, you weren't, even with the disaster. So it just
but we'll
shows.
see. I think the guys were looking good tonight on the track. So I think that the endurance on Thursday is going to be very interesting.
Will be. I mean, Kenny's
pace.
pace.
Some of the guys will be looking for redemption, I think, with the Tsutsi brothers.
Yeah, they'll definitely be. But the thing that I would say there is, again, for both of them, I know it's easy to sit here and say that, but we're watching the whole race, so we get to see that. But it's at times there were risks taken that weren't necessary at the time. That's how I look at it, because I think you've got a 12-lap race with 10 laps to go. Okay, you're behind somebody. It's not as if you've got...
It depends where you sort of start as well. As if you start at the back, you're going to want to start taking your risks pretty quick, because you got to get up to the front. You don't want to sit too long behind people if you think you can compete at the front.
Oh yeah, if you can get past them, fine. But I just think when it comes to sort of the lead, or sort of you've got 2 or 3 cars pretty close, because at the beginning 3 or 4 of the cars were pretty damn close together, and I thought at that point we thought, didn't we, Mark? You might have had a 3 or 4 car battle.
Yeah, to start with, but I mean, I'm one of them risk takers. On the first couple of laps, I'm out there to try and make as many positions as I can, because sometimes if you can get out in front of a couple of cars and leave them to battle, that's when you can break away the most. But it's hard to. They always say spectators have the best view. So
don't you just? But what I found in a lot of my races, again, whether that's to do with my setup or what, I don't know. If I'm going to spin in a race, it's always within the first 2 or 3 laps before my tyres get up to optimum temp. So I tend to take it easy in the first 2 or 3 laps, and then after that, I feel confident. But for the first 3 laps, I'm not, because that's when if I'm going to cock up, I cock it up in the first 2 or 3 laps, because the tyres are not up to optimum temp. Obviously the game will tell you that your tyres are green, everything's happy dandy. But if you're running something like RS Dash or something like that, that will tell you that actually they're not. They might be pretty good, but they're not in the groove until sort of 2 or 3 laps down, and then you can start to push it. But
Anyways, guys, thanks for watching the stream. For those of you watching, thanks for the guys that raced, and thanks to the commentary team for tonight. You can catch us again for the 1 hour endurance on Thursday. Same track, same car as we've just raced.
Yeah, same time, same place, same car.
Exactly.
Different result.
Same everything, just a different format slightly. But
Yeah, it's all
we'll
good.
see you guys back then. Good night and goodbye.
Yes.
Thanks very much, guys.
Goodbye from him, and him.
And
Have
her.
fun. And her, yeah. Yeah, because we can't be sexist. We're not allowed to be sexist, so it's goodbye from everybody. Until next time. Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe. Keep away from smelly people.